Hello everyone, and welcome back to Global Flyer. Today, we're taking a deep dive into an often overlooked yet fascinating aircraft, the Boeing 717. You might think you know the Boeing family, but this jet has a story that's truly unique, one that involves a different name, a major corporate merger, and a fight for survival in a tough market. So, buckle up as we explore the tale of the accidental Boeing, the last twin jet from Long Beach. To really understand the Boeing 717, we have to travel back in time, not to Boeing, but to McDonnell Douglas. But, in a surprising move, Boeing decided to keep the plane. They saw a niche for a dedicated 100-seater and recognized the loyalty of former Douglas customers. However, they weren't going to sell it as a McDonnell Douglas product. To integrate it into their family, they rebranded it. The MD-95 officially became the Boeing 717. This was a bit confusing because the 717 designation had originally been reserved for a military tanker version of the 707, the KC-135 Stratotanker, but that name had fallen out of common use, so Boeing repurposed it. The marketing challenge was huge. They had to convince airlines that this former McDonnell Douglas design was now a true Boeing product, backed by Boeing's world-class support and reliability. They marketed it as the perfect solution for airlines needing to fly routes that were too long for regional jets but too thin for a larger 737. The 717 was all about right-sizing the aircraft for the mission. So what made the 717 special? Let's talk about the engines. The 717 is powered by two Rolls-Royce BR715 high-bypass turbofan engines mounted on the rear of the fuselage. This T-tail and rear-mounted engine configuration is a classic DC-9 family trait. These engines were specifically designed for 100-seat regional jets and were incredibly efficient and quiet for their time. They gave the 717 excellent takeoff performance, making it great for operations out of smaller, noise-sensitive airports. The cockpit was also state-of-the-art for its day, featuring a modern glass cockpit with 6 LCD screens. It shared a similar layout with the MD-11, which made it easier for pilots to transition. This advanced flight deck, combined with the efficient engines, made the 717 a technologically advanced aircraft, despite its heritage dating back to the 1960s. Production of the 717 took place at the former McDonnell Douglas facility in Long Beach, California. This plant had a rich history, having built everything from the DC-3 to the C-17 Globemaster. The 717 assembly line was a legacy of this heritage. The first 717 rolled out on June 10, 1998, and made its maiden flight a few months later in September. It entered service with AirTran Airways in October 1999. Despite a solid design, sales were slow. The aviation market in the early 2000s was tough, especially after the downturn following the September 11th attacks. Airlines were cautious, and many opted for the perceived safety of ordering more from the wildly popular Boeing 737 or Airbus A320 families. The rise of larger regional jets from Bombardier and Embraer also ate into the 717's potential market. Boeing found it difficult to sell the aircraft in large numbers. By 2005, with only 156 orders fulfilled and a dwindling backlog, Boeing announced that it would be ending production. The final Boeing 717 was delivered to AirTran Airways in May 2006. Marking the end of commercial aircraft assembly in Long Beach after 73 years. Interestingly, while the 717 wasn't a sales success, it has been a remarkable operational success. The airlines that flew it loved it. Pilots praised its handling and power, calling it a hot rod. Maintenance crews found it to be incredibly reliable, and passengers enjoyed the comfortable and quiet 2 to 3 seating layout, which meant fewer middle seats. As the years went on, the 717 found a second life. When AirTran was acquired by Southwest Airlines, Southwest, an all-737 operator, decided not to keep the 717s. These relatively young and well-maintained aircraft were quickly snapped up by other airlines. Delta Airlines became the largest operator, using them to replace their aging DC-9 South and smaller regional jets. Hawaiian Airlines uses them perfectly for their short inter-land hops, and QantasLink in Australia uses them for regional routes across the vast country. This demonstrated the aircraft's true value. It was a reliable, efficient workhorse for the right kind of routes. Today, the fleet is beginning to age, and retirements are starting. Delta has begun phasing out its 717s in favor of the Airbus A220. However, the 717 is expected to remain in service with Hawaiian and QantasLink for some years to come, a testament to its durable design. Now, let's touch on the variants. It's a short list. The primary version is the 717-200. This was the only model ever built. McDonnell Douglas had plans for a shorter-range, smaller-capacity version, the MD-9530, and a stretched, longer-range version, the MD-9550. Boeing even studied a business jet version called the Boeing Business Jet 717. However, due to the lack of market interest, none of these proposed variants ever made it off the drawing board. The focus remained entirely on the 100-seat -200 model. As of today, the three main operators keeping the 717 flying are Delta Airlines, although their fleet is shrinking, Hawaiian Airlines, and QantasLink. These airlines have proven that when used in the right network, the 717 is an incredibly effective and profitable aircraft. So, let's look at the numbers. The Boeing 717-200 typically seats around 106 to 117 passengers in a two-class or all-economy configuration. It has a wingspan of about 93 feet or 28.4 meters and a length of 124 feet or 37.8 meters. The tail stands an impressive 29 feet high. Its maximum takeoff weight is around 121,000 pounds, or about 55,000 kilograms. Performance-wise, the 717 is a sprightly performer. It has a cruising speed of about Mach 0.77, which is over 500 miles per hour. Its range is typically around 2,060 nautical miles, or 3,815 kilometers. This makes it perfect for those 1-2-3 hour flights that are too long for turboprops but don't have the passenger demand for a larger narrow-body jet. Its excellent runway performance allows it to operate from shorter runways at regional airports, giving airlines great network flexibility. In conclusion, the Boeing 717 is a story of what could have been. It was a technologically sound aircraft born at the wrong time, caught in the crossfire of a massive corporate merger and a difficult market. While it wasn't a commercial success for Boeing in terms of sales, it has proven itself to be a reliable, efficient, and well-loved aircraft by the airlines that operate it and the crews who fly it. It's the final chapter of the long and storied Douglas commercial story, wearing a Boeing badge. So next time you're at an airport and see that distinctive T-tail with engines on the back, you'll know the fascinating history behind this unique jet. It's a true survivor and a special piece of aviation history. Thank you so much for joining me on this flight through the history of the Boeing 717. What are your thoughts on this aircraft? Have you ever flown on one? Let me know down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to Global Flyer and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next aviation adventure. Until next time, fly safe.